Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Chaplain's Voice. God bless you. This is Chaplain Rodney as your host for this session. God bless you. God bless you. Welcome. Hey, we're going to deal with the integrity of some of the brethren in the church. This is the topic that was handed to me. So I want to talk about according to experience also, because I ran into some things, in and out of the church, and some men that are not faithful to what they're saying. They're saying one thing but doing another. And especially when a young man is following after you, and you keep making promises, but you never carry them out. You're an elder in the church, but you've fallen short of your duties. And it makes the church look bad, but it's not the church, it's the individual. We got some individuals, I'm talking about men, we got some individuals that are in the church who are, proclaiming the name of Jesus, and there are disciples or leaders who are saying things but never come through on what they're saying. We would call them false tongues. Speaking loud but saying nothing. So I want to start off like this. As a young man, I experienced men who were men of integrity. What they said, they did. They carried out. I grew a lot from that. You got, sometimes we wasn't on time on a lot of things, but the majority of it, they were men of integrity. They had it together because they were the ones who were in charge. They were the face of the church. They were pastors. They were leaders. They were men of integrity. They suited up. They was on point, as we would say. And they carried out the duties that they had in the church. And for me, it corrected me in many areas when I was a young man. And I saw that, and I was like, I got to step up my game. I need to do that. I want to be like that too. But another thing that helped me was, as a young man, I had a job, and I was pretty much always on time, on my job. And so it really built character in me. It built, integrity in me, to be there and to do what was expected of me. That's the way I grew up, on my job also, So through life, and getting involved with the church, I was a little shy at some things, at first. But once I got responsibilities, once I started taking on responsibilities, that kicked in, being there on time and being at your post, doing what was required of you. And, if you're going to put your word out there, do what you say you're going to do. It's very important, because when you put your word out there saying that you're going to be there, you're going to go, but you never show up. People get used to you. You're talking loud, but you're saying nothing. You're always speaking about you're going to be a part of something. You're always speaking that, oh, I'm going to be there. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll show up. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. But you never do. So that's why people don't invite you. It's because your word is zero. There is no faith in your word. Your word is not true. We can't count on you. We can't depend on you, because your word, you flip-flop. There's no integrity about you. And see, when we don't tell people that, sometimes in the church, we just don't say nothing. But somebody need to pull you to the carpet and let you know, look, listen, you need to be quiet. You need to go sit down. Because you're saying all these things, making all these promises, and you're lying to yourself, number one. And then you're lying to the people who you're saying you're going to help, participate, or you're going to be there. Now, the worst thing a church could do is have a musician, have an usher, have a pastor, a deacon, who's never taking it serious, doing it to be seen, but not responsible. Can't depend on them. They want to be there for the glory, but behind the scenes, they're not putting in the work. And so when you're calling on them, you can't find them. When you're expecting them to show up, they don't show up. And see, this is bad for business. You know, business will fire you, but it's bad for business. Yeah, this is a Chaplain place, and this is where we talk about church and different things. But today we're talking about the integrity of men in the church. You know, and so leadership has to deal with that, because we have put you in position, but you're not carrying out the duties of the position. You're mean, you're not kind, you're not faithful, you're rude. You know, those type of things, you know, you have to remove that person, because especially if you're a face of the ministry, you're a face of what we're doing here. And they're calling because you're not showing up or you're late. You know, just imagine you're a bus driver. You go pick people up, but you're always late. And at times you don't even show up. You know, we can't even find you. It's time to replace that person. And I think, you know, sometimes some churches don't know how to go about doing it. But if you can't do it, put somebody in charge that can do it, that would do it. Because it's like friends. If you had a friend, claims to be your friend, but every time you invite them, they don't show up. If you're not giving them something, let's talk about this one. If you're not giving them something, if they're not getting something for free, they're not showing up. But the time you give them something free, watch them show up. When you let them know you're paying their way, you giving them a ride, you taking them out to lunch, you taking them out to dinner, putting gas in their car, oh, they'll be on time. But when it's time for them to step up, you can't find them. Don't know where they are. So, what would I say to this? You need to reevaluate. Who are your friends? If you got friends like this. And if there's brothers in the church, I'm saying brothers, I know. I see mostly men doing this than I do women. I just honestly, when I grew up in the church and being a part of the ministry, I see more men do this than women. But it's you have to address it. You can't sugarcoat this. You have to address this and deal with it head on, because if you don't, it's gonna go through the ministry, and it cause others to do the same thing. You know, it's sad they don't have integrity, and they're not thinking about it, and they wonder why they're not getting called on. They wonder why you're not using them. Tell them it's time to take some time out, because this here is not working for you. That's my voice. That's my voice on it. I'm you know, hey, that's my opinion. That's my opinion on it. You know, you might have another opinion. You know, I'm just saying, hey, listen, if you're not ready to give your all in all, please step down. Let somebody else do it. Don't get in the way. Let somebody else do it. Because believe me, they are talking about you. They're doing this behind your back because you have no integrity. Your word is zero. It means nothing. You're talking loud, but saying nothing. Hey, remember, this is the Chaplain's Voice, and I'll see you on the next podcast. God bless.